lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan, and back with me again as homeboy Mario, and we are gonna talk Daredevil Yellow by Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale. We had something else we were gonna read, but in that time frame of the past few weeks where we hadn't recorded, the great Tim Sale passed, and I think it's hard for me to say whether or not this is my favorite of his things.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not my favorite, it's definitely tied with like Long Halloween, you know. But Daredevil Yellow, I mean, it's a different type of story.
Yeah.
But even like
it's more like Spider-Man Blue, I would say.
You like Spider-Man Blue better?
No, I would say it's more like the Spider-Man Blue than Long Halloween.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that the color series that they did, minus Captain America White, which had like a lot of delays in between issues, and it's just not my thing. Daredevil Yellow is my favorite. I think in order of this omnibus I have, it's like it's in that order of the way I like it. Spider-Man Blue is like one of my favorite Spidey stories, but Daredevil Yellow is just phenomenal. I mean, and also I got these when they were coming out. I got the single issue, so it wasn't like I was late to it like Long Halloween and Dark Victory, whereas I didn't read that until those were in trade. But it just made me really, these are sad stories, you know, and I was really sad when I heard he passed. He was definitely in my top 3 favorite artists. I love everything he's done.
Well, I mean, look at the title he's worked on. They're all influential. I mean, who works in comic? I mean, you saw the pouring of people talking about being inspired by him, because who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the works that he had. I mean, it's all fucking heavy hitters.
Yep.
I mean, Long Halloween, Spider-Man Blue. I mean, those two alone. Superman for All Seasons. You got all the color books. I mean, you got When in Rome and stuff like that too. But yeah.
But this story is just like they came out so strong because they already built up all the DC stuff happened first. Actually, they did do the Gambit Wolverine. I think it was a Gambit Wolverine story in the 90s that they did together.
I think I read that
prior to this. Maybe it wasn't Jeph Loeb. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I probably should have researched this before, but they were hitting it out of the park with every single thing they did at DC. And then they come out with the color series. And I think it's kind of ironic that it's color series. I didn't know until I interviewed him that he was colorblind.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And which, side note, I'm so grateful that I actually had the chance to like talk to him at least once, because I've seen him at a con, but the line was super crazy, and like I was with my kid, and like my wife's like, "You need to hurry the fuck up. We need to get out of here. I'm not waiting in another line one more time." So I like ran up. I'm like, "Can you just get your signature?"
Yeah, it's not the same versus actual conversation.
Yeah, but so that's interesting, and like all the wash that he does is all done in black and white. You know, but I think that whereas like you look at something like the Batman Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Catwoman When in Rome, those are great stories, but these are such personal stories, and and it gives you a different side of each of these characters.
It's more of a character piece. Like Long Halloween's a fucking classic, and there's no way around it. It is what it is. But that's just a really well-made story of Batman, and thematically with like Halloween. This is all personal. Specifically personal stories about each character and how it relates to the character's like core. And then the same way we talked about with Mark Waid and how he's really good at getting to the core of the character. I think all of these are about that too, like what defines the characters,
right? And I think that it's like a love letter to Karen, right? So Karen Page is dead at this point. This came out post the Guardian Devil story with Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada, and then all of them. Spider-Man Blue is about Gwen Stacy,
and it's already him also talking to her as well. I like that. And I love that scene at the end where Mary Jane comes up and kisses him,
and that's like, another thing, dude.
Tell Gwen I said hi, or something like that.
Yeah, he just
same kind of feeling.
These two are at their best when they're together, and I know that there's some behind the scenes. I maybe I'm wrong, but maybe they had a falling out at one point, and they did reunite, and they did that one shot set in the Long Halloween universe. I'm really upset that we didn't get any more of the color series, because I feel like that they were headed in that direction of possibly reuniting and doing another Marvel book based on like kind of what he was hinting at. But what I love about these is that you don't need any prior knowledge for any of the characters in the color series. And like you said, perfectly encapsulating the character to their core, and like the emotional beats that they hit, and the way Tim Sale executes the panels, the movement. Watching Daredevil going from the double page spreads.
Yeah.
Like I could blow that up and like have it on my wall and just
even the boxing match, like the one with his dad. Just any of the movements are really well done. Yeah, I mean, it was
the body language too. He's really good at doing. He's really good at conveying, like, you know, like if somebody's like just slouched, like you could feel the weight
or sad, depressed. You know, like when he loses his dad and things like that, you can feel it without even having to read the page. I hadn't read this in a while, and I had forgotten how fucking amazing it is.
Same. It's been a while. I just read Spider-Man Blue like maybe a year ago. I don't know. Dylan and I did an episode on that, but Daredevil Yellow, I hadn't read in a few years.
Yeah.
And I had like the vague memory of like what it was. I knew it had something to do with Karen, but like I didn't remember every little minute detail. But like when you flip it open and you see stuff like this, you know, how can you not think that you're looking at one of the best comic books produced, especially at this time, in this time period? Because this, I feel like, was what was this, like 02?
Something like that. It was only a couple of years after Kevin Smith stuff.
Yeah. It's just,
and the way the colors pop too. Like I love, you know, he takes his dad's robe, his colors, and that's what he turns, and that's what he makes the suit out of originally. And then even the red being tied back to Karen too.
Yeah.
So there's like thematically colors, which is obviously that's why they call the color series, but it's just interesting how even the costumes play into that theme.
Yeah. No, it's just even like the cameos, like the Fantastic Four. I could reading this again made me wish that I got a Fantastic Four book.
Well, all of them just fucking do everything here.
Yeah. It's just,
and like it's so fucking good. The relationship between Matt and Foggy, and the whole like the fact that he's like, I should have seen it, but I was blind, to his feelings about Karen, and you're watching this ticking time bomb of, you know, that they're going to have some kind of issue at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know, man. This book is just so good. It's not even that long, and he managed to do that much with all the relationships. You see Karen's life, you see his relationship with his dad, you see the dad in relation to both him and Foggy, but you kind of get this feeling like he kind of accepts Foggy as like kind of Matt's brother, essentially.
Right.
They go out to dinner together, and it's just, you're part of the family, and it's not very long, and yet you manage to do all that, and just you do it so quickly and so efficiently. And that's the mark of like fucking genius here, is how efficiently you get all of this across in just not that many pages. And
they're fleshing out stuff that wasn't. I could be completely wrong. It's not like I've read every fucking Daredevil comic, but I don't think that they ever said prior to that was where the yellow costume came from.
I don't think so either.
I feel like that's where this started, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
And all the other side stuff, like those first few issues of all the old Marvel stuff, like they built stuff up, but it's kind of like what they did with like X-Men Grand Design. Like they didn't really have a cohesive history until Ed Piskor did that and like made it all connected, right?
Right.
And even those early things, like I've gone back and read the beginning of Spider-Man. You know, first of all, he's an asshole, but they also don't really flesh out some of like the smaller moments. It's like they were geared more towards a younger audience, maybe a little bit older.
And it wasn't as much of an ongoing story, because back then it was more of like every issue is everyone's first book,
beginning, middle, end.
So you couldn't do it as a huge ongoing story.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do that, which is what we did now. Like this fits more in tone with what Bendis did and what Brubaker did. This feels like a companion piece. It's slightly, off, but tendentially kind of in that same vein. And Frank Miller and all those guys.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Fucking work.
God, this book's so good. Fucking thing just popping his head through the fucking window.
What's that?
The thing just pops his head through the fucking wall.
That's what I'm saying. It's like just
One of the things that I forgot was even a thing that Daredevil did was using one of his billy clubs to go down the rail of a staircase. Like it was a little bit more playful in that when he's doing all the acrobatics as Daredevil, he's like enjoying it. Remember me like Nightwing, in the same way that how that was one of those things. But when he was Batman, when he was Batman, the big difference you could tell is that he would smile. I remember that being a line in one of the books.
Yes, I
Is
remember.
that
That was in Black Mirror.
I could tell you weren't the same Batman because when you swung around, you smiled.
Yeah, Gordon said that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
This is kind of the same vein where he every time he's swinging around jumping, it's always he's smiling, he's enjoying it, and he's kind of playful with it. Like you can see some of the scenes he would take the billy club and kind of land on it and then kind of slide down the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that you didn't see like during Bendis's run. Like, I don't want to say the joy was taken out of it, but you didn't see like a Matt that was like enjoying
cocky,
what he was doing.
Yeah, like more cocky, more like enjoying the fact that he had this ability to jump around and do all this crazy shit.
Yeah, I love that they depict Matt in that way. And then seeing him going against like Electro, which is a Spider-Man villain, like that, I completely forgot about that happening in here too. Like that's just something that.
Yeah, I also like the fact that it plays into what happened with Kevin Smith because he's talking about how in those days they never killed anyone. They actually never really did anything. Most of the time they just fucking yelled at how they're gonna get their revenge, and then he's more calling back to the old books from back in the day. And then now he never was prepared for the seriousness of Karen actually getting killed, and remembering almost kind of fondly of how silly and stupid it was back in those days, and versus how it is now, where he's more sad and more depressed because it got a little more serious, or a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a really good companion book to what happened post Kevin Smith stuff.
Agreed. Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's them commenting on where comics are now, kind of, but in a way where it's not trying to harken back to like the Silver Age
or criticize.
Yeah,
I think it's a love letter to both. It's just, it is what it is, and it's just different, and both of them are great, and just in their own different ways.
Yeah, it makes me wish that they would have done like longer, like arcs with all of the characters that they did. Like Hulk, like a 12. I really wish that we would have got a 12-issue Daredevil, 12-issue Spider-Man,
or just continue at least the color stuff, like do Fantastic Four, or just do Reed or something like that, or Johnny.
I forgot. I feel like he said that there was other one. I can't remember, dude. I got to go back and listen to it, but he definitely said there was ideas for other books in the color series.
Yeah,
because it's not just about the color on their costume or like Hulk gray, right? Some of it, like Spider-Man Blue, wasn't about the blue on his costume. It was like the emotion of being sad.
You said exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I think that, and I told Tim this too. Like, I love the way he depicts women. I think he draws the women he draws are gorgeous, dude, and it's like a different type of like, it's not like the bad girl type of art that you saw in the 90s, or even like
it's more like a European art approach.
Yeah. And the wash is like probably one of my favorite things about Tim Sale.
I love the scenes where he's showing the backdrop of the city. Like you have a building, like a brick building in the foreground, but in the background it's like an ink wash that's just kind of making out the rest of the city behind them.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of panels that are just gorgeous. There's like some of them where he's just standing. He's like the one where he's trying to hear Karen. So he stands at the top of the building and he's just standing there trying to hear her. But it's all darkness juxtaposed to his yellow suit and him just kind of sticking out. But it's kind of fading. You can barely tell, but you can tell he pops.
Yeah.
Shit like that's just fucking awesome.
I know him opening each issue with like a close-up or right in the face of a character. And then you immediately, it's like a double page spread each time. Each double page spread is different, right? Like one of them you have I guess it's not technically a double page spread, but there's one where it's like Daredevil fighting the fucking who is that, dude? Which one? Fucking one villain. I think it's in the last issue. He looks fucking like a Matador. I guess it's Matador, right?
Was it Matador? Is that one the Kilgrave issue?
No, it's issue 6. The last one. Maybe 5.
Anyway.
It doesn't matter. It's besides the point. But every single page of this is worthy to hang up on your wall.
Like that thread right there.
Yeah. I love this one too. You know, like I said, when he's fighting Electro.
Yeah.
Like there's not one bad page. I'm not saying there's bad pages in some stories, but like each page is like had to have gone for a lot of money. If they're all sold, there's not one page that you wouldn't be like, damn, I'd like to own that page.
Well, like, the covers are gorgeous too.
Yeah. Oh, I love the design of the covers. It's such a great design. It's kind of like how Spider-Man Blue had like a theme to it all. You know, you always have Daredevil, like cover to issue 1, right? You have Daredevil up above.
Yeah.
And then you have like a scene that's happening, and that's throughout the entire fucking book.
Look at that one. Oh god, it's gorgeous.
Kind of makes me wish, like, I kind of liked the yellow costume after this. I thought it was corny as fuck at first.
Yeah.
When I looked back, I'm like, why did he have a yellow costume? Doesn't make sense. But
yeah, but when you're in the context of being about his dad, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But the red one too. I mean, even tying that into having a meaning. It's not just red because he feels like it, or because it's the devil.
It's because she made a comment.
Yeah, because of Karen.
Yeah. No, there's just
man, so good. Like this stuff is what I love.
Oh yeah, I'm on. That's exactly the
I
page
love all
that
that stuff. He goes from being serious to being fun. He's just enjoying the fact that he's Daredevil.
Yeah, like he became Daredevil, not necessarily like it bore out of something bad.
Yeah,
just like Batman, but he has fun with it.
Yeah,
which is kind of, you know, it's because he's a different type of person. Like, yes, he's serious. There's a lot of moments where he's serious.
Yeah,
but like he even banters a couple times.
Just he's more fleshed out. But I also think that it plays to him being cocky and sometimes overconfident, and sometimes it bites him in the ass. Which is why I think he's such a good character, which we talked about many times, of why Daredevil is always such a good fucking series. And I think it's one of the reasons, because he's got so many things he can do with him. Yeah. He's sad, depressed, he's guilty, but he's also got interesting relationships with certain characters like Spider-Man. But he's also cocky and fun, and he bangs everything like walks constantly. Yeah. So, but there's also a side of him where he's kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick to Foggy overall. Foggy's always got his back. He's cocky, and he's got this side of him too, where he has fun, but it's also coming from this like ego. And so there's just more going on other than Bruce just kind of, oh, I'm sad and everything sucks. And that's all that Bruce got. So, which is why I always feel like Nightwing is a better version of that.
Well, yeah, because Bruce he's like the emo kid.
He's limited to just being sad and depressed and angry, while Nightwing has some of that too, but he's kind of more like Daredevil, where he has some of that hope and fun with it too.
Yeah, I think that's a better comparison, Nightwing and Daredevil, as opposed to Batman and Daredevil, because Nightwing and him have there's a lot of similar traits, like you said.
Yeah.
Like they had something tragic happen to them, but they didn't let it define them either. Yep. You know, they grew past the despair and fucking they use it in a different way than like Bruce did with his, you know?
Yeah.
I just think these are the fucking, they're so timeless too. All of these stories,
like Long Halloween, like
they will always hold up. Like, I don't think there's ever going to be a day where you pick up any of this collaborations between Jeph Loeb and Sim Sale and it will feel dated.
Right.
That's why I think that they've garnered such critical acclaim like they have, because it feels old but new.
Yeah. No, I think the same kind of thing like Darwin Cook. Those kind of guys also have that same kind of vibe to it. But yeah, like you said, it's just all of them, because I think like my favorite one from them is Superman for All Seasons.
I love Superman for All Seasons.
That one's also the same thing. It's about Superman and defining who he is.
Hold on. Jesus Christ. My fucking house. Yeah, you're saying Superman for All Seasons?
Yeah, I mean, that's also the same kind of thing. That's about Clark through different kind of seasons in his life.
Right.
Go through different periods, but it's all about defining what made him him. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people consider that one kind of a spiritual color book. It doesn't have a color theme, but it has a theme of phases of their life and how it defines him throughout his existence.
Yeah, it's definitely more in line with the color series than like the Batman. The only thing I haven't read, I know they did a Challengers of the Unknown. in the 90s. That's the only one I haven't read.
I haven't read that one either.
But it also has a different type of art style. It's not doesn't have the wash,
same.
you know. So it kind of it doesn't. It I flipped through it, but it didn't have the same feel. So I'm like, I'm not in any rush to read that. But yeah, I'm glad that we read this. I definitely want. I think we should maybe do a few more Tim Sale books before we jump to anything else.
Yeah, I think while reading it, I haven't reread Long Halloween in a while, also, and I haven't reread Hulk Gray in a while, also. So it made me definitely want to like, fuck, I should read these more often because this is really good.
Yeah, I'm down to do Hulk Gray next if you want.
Yeah.
Hulk Gray, and then I did an episode. We already did an episode on the channel with Long Halloween, but if you're down to do Dark Victory, I'm also down too.
Either that or Superman for All Seasons, one of those two.
Superman for All Seasons. Let's do that instead. Hulk Gray and Superman for All Seasons. I haven't read either one of those in a long time, and they're
really good.
They're just so good. I'm sad that they're not all in print. They're not available. I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I think Daredevil Yellow is easy to find. Spider-Man Blue is not. I tried to recommend it. Yeah, you couldn't find it.
You would think this would be like one of those books that you just have.
It's an evergreen book.
Yeah, I mean, it's Long Halloween. How the fuck do you not have it in stock? These kinds of books. Just.
I mean, it's Marvel. That to me is what's weird about Marvel is that these one-off stories they don't keep in print. They don't even, there's some runs that they don't even keep in print that you'd be like, why don't you have this?
Yeah.
Like the Thor Jason Aaron omnibus.
Yeah.
Already out of print.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Like,
the movie just came out. Why wouldn't you have it? Yeah.
I mean,
have you heard what Jeph Loeb refers to Tim Sale's version of Clark Kent / Superman?
No.
He said he's a thumb with a cape.
It's a thumb with he does look like a thumb.
Because his face is just like this super wide thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was
I'm never gonna not see that now. I'm always gonna look at it. It's gonna
I think he was on Batman back in the day with Kevin Smith.
Who was Tim Sale or Jeph Loeb?
Jeph Loeb.
Okay.
And they were talking about you were just talking about his career, and one of them was he was talking about his work with Tim Sale, and he mentioned he loved Superman for All Season, and I think he joked about how he was like a thumb with a cape.
It's funny because he does, Superman.
It kind of does. If you look at it, like, yeah, I can see what he's saying. But it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's one bad piece of art by Tim Sale, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think maybe the earlier stuff which is not like what you expect when you look at Tim Sale's art.
Yeah,
I think he definitely came in to his own once those Legends of the Dark Knight, the Halloween specials that preceded Long Halloween. That's like when I think that was his prime. That's when he entered his prime, in my opinion. And then from there, it never got back. All his covers that he does.
Yeah.
I still picked up anytime he had a cover out.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't reading that book, I would just buy it for the cover.
Yeah, I did some, I think, for the Catwoman anniversary issue and the Batman ones and Detective Comics ones. He usually got Tim Sale. Well, not anymore, but he did.
Sad. I'm sad. Every time I hear his name or I see somebody talk about him, it just makes me sad. But at least he blessed us with years and fucking tons of great comics. And
how old was he?
I'm not sure. I mean, definitely I would say his 50s. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like he's around the same age as Liefeld. Because I know he did Death Blow. He took over for Jim Lee on Death Blow in the 90s, which I haven't read any of that stuff, so I'm definitely gonna go pick that up.
Because I feel that way about Darwin Cook too. Right. I never got to meet him either. I think Darwin Cook was like 48, 52, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is, it's definitely not young, but it's like,
to me, that's young.
Right. But I mean, he's not 19, but like he had plenty of years left.
Yes.
Where he could be alive, but two, also, still had art. He was still working on stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Sale was still doing stuff.
Sucks, man.
Yeah. But anyways, let's end on a happy note. Daredevil Yellow is a great comic.
Yeah, if you haven't read it and somehow you're listening to this, you should fucking read it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read any of the other ones, because there's a bunch of stuff to check out, you should read it. Especially because I think we talked about this before. Long Halloween, obviously, is the most famous thing they've worked on, I would say.
Yeah.
But the other stuff gets ignored a lot. When in Rome and Dark Victory.
Yes. I know people don't even realize, like, when I recommend Long Halloween, I always hand them both. And I'm like, you're going to love this book, and this is the sequel. So you might as well just buy both at the same time. That's always my selling point. Half the time people would buy both. The other half is like, I'm going to read this first and then I'll come back if I like it. And about 60% of those people
they come back
and then get the other book. But I mean, those just got re-released in deluxe hardcovers. So I mean,
When in Rome, right, just came out recently.
I did not buy that one though.
I did not buy that.
I bought Dark Victory and Long Halloween because I only had those in trade. The Catwoman When in Rome is in the absolute edition of Haunted Night, so I don't need to fucking get that. But I know Daredevil Yellow is in print. I know for a fact because I've seen it like constantly. But Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray are harder to find. Really? Captain America, what? Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird, but I mean, eBay can solve that problem. I know when I got this hardcover, the omnibus that minus Captain America White, I got it for a pretty good deal, probably because they had a newer version with all four. But I can't recommend this book enough. I know Daredevil's.
Yeah, no, it's fucking Daredevil, and this is like prime Daredevil. Like, this is the what we look for. This is the secret sauce.
Yeah, dude,
of this fucking character in a trade. Perfectly
executed. There's like it epitomizes everything that is good about Daredevil and why he's such a great character.
Yeah, I think the only thing it's missing is just the ninja stuff, but it doesn't fit this tone. So it's not.
Yeah, it would have felt out of place.
It doesn't. It's not missing. It's just there's other stuff that has some of that more mysticism stuff, but I don't think it fits here anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's all I have. I could just keep saying how good it is, but I just go buy the fucking book.
Yeah. And you go read the other stuff. Check it out.
Yeah, go read the other stuff. Definitely, I know that I want to read Hulk Gray with you next. We'll do Hulk Gray, and we'll do an episode on Superman for All Seasons, Catwoman When in Rome. Also, just do all Tim Sale books for the next few episodes.
It's like we did Mark Waid for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did a lot of Mark Waid, and I know we were going to do some other ones, but we'll put that on the back. But he's still alive, so well.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He can wait. He can wait a little bit, But Tim Sale, we need to honor him, dude. He's a fucking one of the best artists to ever fucking put pencil to paper. Yeah. And all right, rest in power, Tim Sale. And if you're not already following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new bit goes up. And on that note, we're out.